Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut. And, we're going to talk about the New York Mets here. Before we get into that, hit that subscribe button. You want to know what I think about what's going on in the world of baseball, and hopefully you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, just hit that sub button anyway. Smash it, as they say. So, a couple of things before we get into the crux of this video, which is about JD Martinez. Some news, obviously, today. Shohei Ohtani finally signed. I did a 10-minute video on him right before I recorded this video. So I'm going to put this video on first, and then you're on there. Go watch that, please. And I'll put the link into the chat on this video, into the channel, and hopefully you sub to it. I have a very different take on it. Just to give you sort of an idea. 700, and it's very different in the media, obviously, as you know. I'm an alternative to that. I don't want to be in the media, so it's a little. I have different ideas about it. There's no questions that they ask this guy about how he's able to recover every day as a pitcher and as a hitter, and I think part of that should be part of a big reason why he didn't come here. Just to give you an idea, I just read this before I came on to do this video. It seems that the agent for Shohei Ohtani never called Steve Cohen to see what the deal was. So he wanted no part of New York, to be honest with you. And considering the pressure that he's going to be on in terms of this money, he doesn't want the pressure. And he's not Babe Ruth. I don't care what anybody says. He is no way Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth did it for 22 years as a player, as a pitcher, and as a hitter. And that can't be sort of pushed away. This guy's done it for 3 years, and he's a 274 hitter. Babe Ruth was a 330 hitter in his career. One of the great hitters, if not the greatest home run hitter of all time. He's also the top 10 great hitter, as an aside, for Babe Ruth. But we'll leave it there. So, obviously, with Otani signing with the Dodgers and becoming their DH now over the next 10 years, a player that's been there is not going to be there now. Obviously, JD Martinez, the DH du jour, probably the preeminent DH in baseball right now over the last really 10 years since Big Papi retired. Has been JD Martinez. And Martinez, obviously, he did not have a good year in 2022. Obviously, he's dealing with a back issue. He's 36 years old. So he is an older player, but he's not playing the field. He's going to be a DH. Now, I have been screaming for 2 years that the Mets getting a professional hitter into this lineup and a good RBI man in this lineup. I was hoping that the Mets would have signed him last offseason instead of did the stupid thing of going in with Darren Ruff and Daniel Vogelback last offseason. And I was hoping that they would have signed JD Martinez last offseason because I kind of figured that he was going to have a big year. And he did for the Dodgers. He had a really good year. I think he hit 30 home runs, drove him pretty close to 100 runs. Had a good average. He was really good. He could still hit. So, obviously, he's going to be looking for a home. He's like the Clarence the Frogman Henry. He doesn't have a home. But I would hope then, I would think that he would be a good position for the Mets to look at him and just say, you know what, when we sign this guy. I know that David Stearns has talked about putting Vientos and DJ Stewart as the designated hitter. I don't really care for that. Okay? I don't trust Stewart one bit. I don't care what he did in August. I think we have to look at it over the course of a career. Maybe Martinez will be done. Who knows? But you would only be bringing him on a one-year deal. And obviously, with him being an older player, you might not need to play him 150 games. So you could put other guys there in that spot. I know it kind of locks you in at DH, but really the Mets have not had a DH since we brought the DH into the National League. Interestingly enough, I think we all kind of thought that baseball was going to have, at least with the Mets, they were going to have a very strong DH with Robbie Cano at the time, but Robbie obviously turned into a disaster with the PED situation, and obviously he got suspended, and basically the Mets said they had enough of him because he wasn't hitting. But Martinez is a guy that he hits good pitching. That's the one thing about him. He hits good pitching. We have a lot of DHs out there that can hit. J.D. Davis is a good example of a guy that he can hit, but he doesn't hit good pitching. J.D. Martinez hits good pitching. he's very similar in a lot of ways to Carlos Correa, because Carlos Correa is another guy. Even though I didn't like the contract that the Mets were going to give him last year, I thought that if the Mets had gotten the postseason, he would have been very difficult to deal with, because that guy hits good pitching as well. So that's the one thing that's interesting about Martinez in particular, is that he hits good pitching. And you need a guy that's going to bat in the middle of this lineup if he's healthy, and if he isn't done, that can give protection to Pete Alonso. And you will see Pete's batting average go back up if you have a guy batting behind him. Now, at the same time, we know this rumor that the Mets are interested in Jung-Ho Lee, but it seems like the Giants and the Padres are sort of taking a bit of a leap in terms of wanting to sign him. But the Mets were talked about it. Did a video on him the other day. So that's the one thing I can say, is if you were to bring in a very strong guy that could bat leadoff, then maybe you can think about moving Brandon Nimmo to the middle of the lineup. To me, I think he's getting to that point now that he might not necessarily be a leadoff hitter. But for the sake of this video, I would hope the Mets look at Martinez and say, look, we could sign you for 1 year, $12, $13 million. Help this young team out. We have some young players here that need a little guidance. I mean, I don't think that's all that crazy to do that. And obviously, it'll provide protection for Pete Alonso. And if an unfortunate situation happens and the Mets have a lousy year, you could flip them. So that's the one thing you could probably do, flip them to a team that needs a DH. And there's plenty of teams that need a hitter late in the season. So you let me know what you think about this video. Hit that subscribe button. We'll have plenty of stuff going. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.